Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another Sunday night live stream. I missed you guys. I missed you all. How are you? How's everyone doing tonight? Or it's the morning elsewhere. I'm very familiar with that now, especially since I just came back to the States a couple days ago. Hopefully everyone's doing well. It has been 2 weeks, right? Since we've last spoken, since we've last communicated. Azalea, Abdi, Edward, Lena, Gimme, we'll just call you Gimme. A, Andre, Dino, Spike, My, Adiva, welcome. Hi, everyone. Oh, man, where do I begin here? Well, I'm back from Japan, obviously. This has been my set for the last 399 days. I am currently on day 399 of my journey. And let's talk about that really quick. Day 399 of my journey. I just came back from eating back-to-back days for 13 days. Am I here saying, hi, everyone, welcome to day 1 of my journey? No. In fact, I'm here saying my 13-day vacation is part of my journey. The previous vacations that I've had has always been part of my journey. I want you to remember that as you're watching this. Why do I say that? Why does that matter? Because there are many of us who are maybe here right now, who might watch this later, where for you, you might go on vacation, and while you're on a 2-week vacation, you throw everything away. You tell yourself, why am I on this journey right now? I'm about to go on a 2-week vacation. So what does it matter if I do anything at this point? Versus what I'm doing now, incorporating my journey into my vacation, understanding that I'm going to eat back-to-back days, that I'm going to not work out, that I'm not going to be at the gym like I normally have been, that I'm not going to be following my regular routine, that I'm not going to be fasting for a long period of time. But does that change my situation? Will I start over? Will I wait till Monday? Because I haven't. Today is Sunday. I restarted my journey last night. I didn't say, I'm just going to wait until Monday. What's the point? The point is, I've just had 13 days of eating back to back. And there might be some people who might be in here and say, well, why would you do that? You should have just gone for an even 14 days, gone 2 weeks, have another Sunday where you get to eat whatever you want. How about if I told you that that's not really what I wanted? How about if I told you that I feel pretty good about having a 13-day back-to-back vacation, and that I didn't need to add an extra day, that I didn't need to wait until Monday? That's a question for many of you who are in here right now. Are you waiting till Monday? Are you that person that is starting over and over and over again, waiting for a Monday, waiting for the first, waiting for the new year? Life doesn't work like that. I'll get into that in a little bit, but Abdi with a $10 super chat. Abdi, thank you so much for the super chat. Abdi, so nice to see you. It's so nice to see all of you in here. It really is. It feels, I don't know how many of you have watched my vlogs, but there was a specific vlog where I hope for those that watch that, when I talk about you, thanking you for helping me to where I'm at, I wholeheartedly mean that. This is a community that I thrive on. For me, it's so important to be accountable in this way. I'm here because I know we have a great community, but I'm also here because I know that this keeps us all in check. I want to get that. I want to get into that in a minute. But Abdi, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Abdi says, welcome back, Jerome. I fell off track while you were out. I'm getting back on plan now. Abdi, first of all, I appreciate you being honest and sharing that. That isn't something that's easy to share, that you've had a rough time. Actually, I'm kind of curious for other people who are in here. While I was gone for 2 weeks, have you been holding down your fort? Have you been able to stay on track? And if you haven't, completely understandable. I was gone during Thanksgiving week. I think a lot of people might have fallen off the tracks, fallen off the wagon, derailed a little bit. But I think the more important part, like I've said before, is the actions that precede that. If you're here right now, my hope is you're here for a reason, that you want to get back on track, or that you have been on track and you've been fine. Maybe you've had a stumble here or there, but you're okay. So Abdi, I appreciate you sharing that. Again, it's not something that you have to share, but I appreciate you being honest with that. Thank you again, Abdi, for the $10 donation. I appreciate you so much. So let's talk about this vacation that I've had. I wanted to be more prepared today, but it was such a busy day for me that I wasn't able to put all the stats together that I would have liked to, but I will share as much as I can. If you're in here and you know nothing about me, I literally have been gone for 2 weeks. I went out of the country. I went to visit Japan. It was great. I had a great time. I vlogged about it. If you want to see what that looks like, you can go to my channel and watch my other vlogs where I pretty much documented what I ate, what my weight was, kind of what I did and what I was thinking. I haven't been out of the country since 1992, which shows how old I am. In 92, I was 11 years old. That was the last time I went out of the country. I went to the Philippines back in 92, and I haven't been out of the country since. I take that back. I was in Canada in 2016, but that's a little different than being thousands of miles away. It was awesome. I love being able to travel. It was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I had plans to go to Japan back in 2020. I was planning it in 2019, and then COVID happened. So that kind of got shot, and then found myself going back this year, finally going back this year. I bring up vacation because there are so many of us who are probably, I don't want to speak for everyone, but for those that celebrate Thanksgiving, for those that celebrate the holidays, this is a very difficult time of the year. My vacation was planted right during the holidays. And so I guess that goes to say, I'm doing this with you if you're struggling right now. I am talking to you right now after eating back-to-back days for the last 2 weeks, 13 days. So not exactly 2 weeks, but 13 days. So if you're sitting here and you're like, but Jerome, you've been doing this for a while, you got this on lockdown. I'm currently 13 days back-to-back eating, And I'd be lying to you if I told you that it's a little hard right now at the moment. Yes, I am hungry. Yes, the hunger has hit me more recently just now than earlier, but it's here. I know that I have those hunger cues, those hunger pangs, but I also know I'm going to be okay. Why? Because I ate 13 days in a row. I know that if I don't eat today, I'm going to be okay. I know that if I don't eat today, the food is going to be there tomorrow. I know that if I don't eat today, I can still function like a normal human being. I know that if I don't eat today, I can still hold this live stream. I know that if I don't eat today, I could go for my 5 mile walk, which I did earlier today. I know that if I don't eat today, I could go lift weights, which was great because I haven't done that in 13 days. And it was great to lift weights again and get back into the rhythm, get back into my routine. I say this because I want you to understand that not all of us have to eat every single day of our lives. If that's something you choose to do, that's great. If you're able to control your calories and eat every single day and keep your weight in check and keep your blood work good, more power to you. I love that for you. I am not in that place. I don't know if I'll ever be in that place. I'm also somebody that doesn't really believe in eating every single day consecutively forever. I do believe in taking time away from eating every now and then. Yes, my fasts are traditionally longer than most people, but that's also because the volume of food I eat is very heavy. My Sweetie Pie with a $10 super chat. My Sweetie Pie, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. I love that you're here. It's nice to see you as always. My Sweetie Pie says, last week started well and then derailed from Thanksgiving through the weekend. This is also a question for anybody that's here too. Since I was gone for Thanksgiving, how was your Thanksgiving? Feel free to share. Was your Thanksgiving fasted? Were you fasting until Thanksgiving and then you got right back on it? Were you fasting until Thanksgiving and then you stumbled after? Have you been able to pick yourself back up since? I'm asking this question because I genuinely am curious, but I also go through all the comments. I go through all the chat. I like to read about where people are at, what their struggles are like. If you have questions, please save them until later. I will go through questions tonight. I will answer as much as I can. I love bringing up that discussion because sometimes for many of us, it's not a discussion that we can have with many people. Sometimes there's this stigma about talking about feeling however you're feeling about food and struggling with weight. And sometimes people don't share that. A lot of people don't share that, but I do because it's helpful for me. So sometimes I ask this question because yes, I'm genuinely curious, because I am genuinely curious, but I'm also asking this question because sometimes it's a way to maybe get something off your chest, especially if it's been bothering you. Just like my Sweetie Pie here says, derailed from Thanksgiving through the weekend, back on track this week, refed 2 out of 7 days and lost half of my regain. Next week will be even better. Welcome back. My Sweetie Pie, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your journey right now, where you're at, being honest about the difficulties too. I know there are probably some people who are in here who are watching this or who might watch this later on after the stream ends. And maybe one really important point to put out here is the honesty, the transparency. That is why my Sweetie Pie, thank you again for the donation, and the honesty and the transparency. The reason I bring this up is, for me, being honest, being transparent about my journey holds me accountable. It makes me remember that I don't have to hide how I eat. I don't have to hide feeling ashamed, feeling guilty. And this goes with eating or fasting. No shame in what I do. This is who I am. This is what I do. Yes, my eating has gotten better over time, but it wasn't always this clean before. But that didn't stop me from being honest and transparent about it because that was important to me at that time. And it's still important to me today. Just because I've been eating cleaner doesn't mean that I'm always going to eat clean forever. I am not that influencer. I am not that fitness, whoever you want to call it, guru, expert that is going to eat the cleanest, eat the best, exercise in the most perfect way. I'm not that person. And I think because of that, because I am able to accept those imperfections, am I able to achieve success? The reason I can be honest and transparent and tell you that, yes, I just had a 13-day vacation and I gained 12.6 pounds, I believe it was. And instead of hiding and not being here on stream and saying, hey, I'm just going to stream next Sunday, the fact that even though I have this weight gain on me, I mean, I can see it in my face. I knew the moment I turned on the camera and I put myself on live or looked at myself in the camera, I'm like, I can see the bloat on my face. There's bloat on my, but here's the thing is the bloat isn't as bad as past vacations. There has been a lot changed since my last vacations during this 399-day journey. I could have easily made an excuse and say, hey, no live stream tonight. And then what goes on in my head in the past would be, okay, Jerome, you're going to say some shit and let them know you're not going to stream on Sunday. But for you, then you're going to just go ahead and you're going to eat and probably binge that Sunday. And then you're going to get back on a fast. And then you're going to fast from Sunday night after you finish binging until the next Sunday when you meet everyone else or when you stream again. So then you can hide all of the shame, all of the guilt. There's no more of that within me. It's not like that anymore. Yeah, I ate 13 days back to back. Yeah, I gained weight. Yeah, I didn't exercise as much as I typically do. But I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel shameful about it. I'm not going to restart the day. I'm not going to restart my journey. I'm not going to start over. I'm not going to wait till Monday. I know this sounds very repetitive, especially for many of you who are in here who watch me, but I think it's also very helpful. It's a great reminder to let you know that sometimes when you don't put this in your head, you let your guard slip. You easily walk away from things when you know that this is the path you should be taking. I hold these live streams and I say the same shit over and over because it's important for me to remember as well. Sometimes it's that reminder that you have to keep yourself in check. But at the same time, this is also a great way to let you know that you're not alone on your journey. Like I said earlier, I am not going to be fasting perfectly, eating perfectly, exercising perfectly 100% of the time. My goal at this point is to just keep doing the things that I need to do, accept imperfection where it comes, and keep moving forward. That's why, for me, it's always about imperfect consistency. You always hear me talk about imperfect consistency. Your fasting, your exercise, your eating, your sleep, your life, your relationships with people, they don't have to be perfect. There should be no expectation of perfection. But doing something on a consistent basis, that's where it counts. That's really where it counts. When I say you're not alone, let me share this with you. I might as well, since we're here right now. If I can pull this up. I'm currently 19 hours and 45 minutes fasted. And this is the longest fast I've had since November 25th. I don't think I've had a fast longer than that since then. or at least hitting the 20-hour mark, which is about to happen soon. Like I said, I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't hungry, but there's a little twinge of hunger in me. But I also know that I'm going to be okay, that I don't need to eat, that I'm going to be just fine, and I'm going to make it to the next day. What I'm doing right now, performing an extended fast after eating 13 days in a row, this is a very difficult place to be in for many people that are in here, many people that I work with. One of the questions I get almost more than ever is, I can't get myself to do an extended fast after I refeed, or if I eat 3 days in a row. It's so hard to get back onto another fast. If this is you, I do have a video where I talk about overcoming hunger. You can look for that. It's probably my most popular video at this point, but I'm going to say this to you right now. Maybe the reason that you're not able to fast after performing a fast in the past and after refeeding is maybe the accountability part is the piece that's missing. I've said this before, but if you have done this, if you have been successful at fasting, if you have been successful at fasting in the past, refeeding in the past, getting back on another fast right after, and you've been struggling now, and you have never tried to do some type of accountability check-in, some type of accountability, whatever it might be, it's worth looking into. And I'm not saying you have to sign up for a coaching session with me, although you can, but maybe it's getting an accountability partner. Maybe it's holding yourself accountable to other people in different ways, whatever that might be. Maybe it's signing up for a coaching session with me. You can find the link in the description if that's something you're really interested in. But that might be a missing piece if you've been struggling with fasting consistently. 399 days on my journey. That's 57 weeks. That's, I believe at this point, that's 13 months. I have to double check, but that's over a year for sure. Where would you be if you were 399 days into your journey, not doing it perfectly, but practicing imperfect consistency? You all know my last 13 days weren't perfect. You all know that my past vacations were not perfect. Remember my very first vacation back in April after I lost all that weight? And then in April, I went on I believe it was a 12 or 13-day vacation, about the same amount of time that I did just recently. I gained 21.6 pounds that first vacation, 21.6 pounds. This time around, I only gained 12.6 pounds. That's a considerable difference. A lot has changed since then. Why did I only gain 12.6 pounds versus the 21.6 the first time around? Because I've done this journey before. Because I keep showing up every day. Because I've learned from the past and I'm applying new things in the future. That's also not to say that I might not. That's also not to say that there's a possibility I'll gain 25 pounds on my next 2-week vacation. But I also know that because of my experience, because I do this over and over and over and over and over again, I continue learning about myself. I continue learning about my triggers, my feelings, what makes me hungry. On this 2-week vacation, I realized, even though it's very common sense, I was going to say commonsensical, in the last 2 weeks on my vacation, there was a part of me that said, well, shit, I don't have to eat crazy all day, every day, like it was going to be my last day of eating, I could say no to this and eat tomorrow, which is essentially portion control, which is kind of cutting back calories. And that's something new for me, even as common sense as that sounds. But the only reason I got there was through the experience of what I've been doing. I want to get into that a little more when I really talk about my vacation, but I guess what I'm trying to say is imperfect consistency, accountability, those two things, those are key components. Those are keys to success. If you are like me and have this all or nothing mentality, this black and white thinking, this is me learning to figure out the middle ground, the middle point. And it's not to say that you're going to find it right away. What I'm trying to say is there is a chance that you will start to get better at this if you continue getting up and doing this every day, telling yourself that it doesn't have to be this perfect whatever, but instead saying, I'm going to accept today for today. If it's a 12-hour fast, it's a 12-hour fast. If it's a 16-hour fast, it's a 16-hour fast. If it's a 60-hour fast, it's a 60-hour fast. And you're going to be okay with it no matter what. Because why? Because you're going to get your ass up the next day and do it again and keep it moving. 399 days. Imagine where you'd be. 57 weeks. That's where I'm at right now. Imagine where you'd be if you were with me doing something for 57 weeks, practicing imperfect consistency, a pound a week, 57 pounds down. I know there are a lot of you who are in here who probably tell themselves, I could lose 5 pounds in the first 3 days when I do this. Yes, many of us can. That's what happens if we've been eating like we have, and then you get yourself into a very strict diet. If you can do that, if you can lose 5 pounds in 3 days, imagine if you didn't have to push so goddamn hard and you just lost 1 pound a week, half a pound a week. Imagine the progress you would get. Imagine how far you would be. And I know that this works because there are many of you who share that with me in the comments, who let me know, Jerome, I've lost this much weight because this is what I've been doing. I've just been chipping along at it. I've gotten this progress because I've been doing these things imperfectly consistent. Imperfectly consistent. Before I continue on, Andre with a $10 super chat. Andre, thank you so much for the super chat. It's so nice to see you. As always, Andre, very nice to see you. J-Man, J-Man son. So much to say. Glad you're back. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. For those of you that don't know, I spent my 44th birthday in Japan. I turned 44 on December 3. It was kind of a birthday present to myself. So I appreciate the birthday wishes. Also, for anyone who's in here or for those who commented on my vlogs and wish me happy birthday, thank you so much. I do appreciate the well wishes. Enjoyed your vacation content. I'm glad you did. And I'm so glad you came back to us. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm in the middle of my third back-to-back 90-hour fast. Feeling good. Andre, congrats. It looks like you've been able to just keep consistent even while I was gone for 2 weeks. Congrats, Andre. I love to hear that. Keep it going. Please keep us posted. And again, thank you so much for the support. Wanda as well with a $10 super chat. Wanda, thank you so much for the support. As always, it's great to see you here. Thank you so much for the support. I guess is what I already said that. But Wanda, thank you. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Refed earlier today, 5 hours into a 36-hour fast. Congrats. Got to mix it up. I haven't lost or gained more than 4 pounds this past week. I love that for you. And this might be for a lot of people too, right? Progress, success doesn't just mean that the number on the scale is going down every single time you step on it. Progress, success also comes in many other forms. Do not forget about your other non-scale victories. Progress and success could be in the clothes that fit you better, in the way you look in photos, the way you feel, the blood work that you get from the doctor. But not only that, progress and success also comes from your mindset. When I say this, what I mean by that is if you're somebody who gains 3 pounds after a refeed and then beats yourself up. And then the next day says, well, fuck this. I'm just going to eat everything and I'm going to binge on all the food. Versus you refeed, you gain 3 pounds. And instead of binging and saying, fuck this, you tell yourself, I'm going to keep it moving. Today's really difficult for me. It's hard to look at the scale that way, but I'm going to try to push a longer fast. And if not, I'll get through 20 hours. I'll make sure to get my steps in. Maybe I'll go to the gym and lift weights since I have extra calories that I can use for energy. That's success. That's progress. That's changing your mindset. If you are that person that is all or nothing, you know who I'm talking to. If you're that person that's black and white thinking, you have to get yourself out of that situation and accept imperfection. Wanda, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Please continue to do so. Thank you. Thank you. Mark, Malungai Mark with a $10 super chat as well. Mark, thank you for the support. It's nice to see you as well. Welcome back, Jerome. Thanks so much. Japan looked amazing. It was amazing. I had a great time. I actually am looking forward to going back. Thank you for sharing and staying accountable. You're very welcome. Definitely inspiring. Thank you so much, Mark. And also, I saw your comment on my last vlog. So I just want you to know that those comments, they never go unnoticed. So thank you for the kind words there too, Mark. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Okay. So real quick, we're not waiting till Monday, right? Because I'm not waiting till Monday. I could have waited till Monday. I could have told myself I'm just going to eat today. Because why not? Let's make it an even 14 days. Let's make it an even 2 weeks. But instead I said, no, 13 days is good. I feel good. I came back from Japan Friday afternoon, even though time was weird because it's 15 hours ahead there. But I came back Friday afternoon. I ate whatever I wanted on Friday. And then I had the whole day yesterday to eat whatever I wanted. And then I told myself, okay, after that, you're good. You're going to get back on a fast. You're going to push a 65, which is what I'm doing right now. And then we're going to play this out. But there's a lot that I have learned from this vacation that I think I'm going to maybe start applying in 2025. I'll get to that in a second. I guess this also, I have to add this in here. 399 days with no binging. Almost 400 days of doing something so successfully where binging is the last thing I want to do. And it's been the easiest thing that I have done when I find myself wanting to cope, wanting to run away, wanting to escape. The last time I've binged was on November 5th, 2023. That was the day I live streamed and said I was going to start on the 6th. That November 6th was going to be my day number 1. And what did I do before that day number 1 is I binged. And I'm so glad to say that I've now gone almost 400 days without binging. And that's a big W for me. It's a big win for me. Even if binging were to happen in the future, that's still one time out of 400 and some days versus me binging every single day for almost 2.5 years. That's how big of a win that is for me. I have to do fit check. I don't really want to do fit check, but we'll do fit check because this is what I'm talking about when it comes to transparency and accountability. If you're not familiar with what fit check is, this is where I show you where I'm at currently, weight wise, body wise, physique wise. Disclaimer. If you're just coming in here, I have been on vacation for 13 days and ate 13 days in a row, ate whatever I wanted, ate back-to-back days. Yesterday was my biggest refeeding day. So I do feel a bit bloated. I feel like I'm bloated in the face, but we got to do it. So Oh, I forgot to show slides, but we'll do that one when I finish Fit Check since we're already in the middle here. I just want to share photos of Fit Check because I think that's still just for those that don't know. Yes, I've been overweight my entire life as a kid, as a child. Just to give you an idea of where I'm at, I used to wear a size double X shirt or an XL shirt. I used to wear size 38 pants. I now wear, well, I wear boys' pants. This shirt that I'm wearing is an adult, extra small, and this is a Japanese shirt as well. So, or a shirt from Japan. So I think the sizing is a little different. Actually, I just washed this shirt. So this shirt fits a lot tighter than it did when I first wore it. But also, it's probably because I'm bloated. So just letting you know. Okay. The pants that I'm wearing are a boys. I should stand here. The pants that I'm wearing are a boys size 14. So yes, I'm wearing boys pants. I think they were like $8 at Target. I get such a good deal for children's clothing. If you're wondering why I wear children's clothing, if you're new, it's because I'm short. I'm 5'3", so I could wear clothes that fit like for boys who are like 12 or 13. Although I think in Japan, I think the clothes are sized smaller. I only bought a couple shirts and actually it was just like pretty much the same brand, but they fit pretty good. So, okay, we'll do Fit Check. Again, I am 13 pounds up or 12.6 pounds up, but I can still fit into this extra small shirt that has been washed. And I'm still wearing these boys pants that are a size 14. Okay. So this is currently where I'm at 160 pounds versus the 147 pounds I was before I went on vacation. Right? Side shot. It's in the back of the shirt. This shirt is so cool. You can't find this shirt anywhere else. But okay, so that is Fit Check. That's currently where I'm at. I know that this will look so much better when the bloat is off of me. I weighed in this morning at 160.2 pounds. I normally lately have been sitting somewhere in the mid 140s. My goal is to even get lower than that, but I'm not too worried about the number on the scale. For me, it's more about packing muscle and losing excess body fat. That is really the important part for me. Fuck the number on the scale. The more important part for me is packing on muscle, getting as much muscle as I can, and losing excess body fat. And what I'm about to do, because I've had 13 days of vacation, what I'm about to do next, I am about to go on a leaning out phase. I'll talk about that in a second. So before I continue on, just so I'm very consistent with the way this goes, when I do Fit Check, I know people still ask about loose skin. Yes, I do have loose skin. I have loose skin here on my neck. Although, you know what's funny about this loose skin on my neck is it doesn't, and you can see here, right? This is the area I'm like most self-conscious about because you notice it doesn't bounce back, right? I mean, it bounces back eventually, but when I'm bloated, when I gain weight, this part fills out. So then it isn't as like loose skin over here. But it is the reason that I strength train. One of the reasons that I strength train is to add muscle. I mean, adding muscle is not just for aesthetics. Adding muscle can do so much for you when it comes to metabolic health. So if you are somebody who is fasting, who isn't looking into strength training, I would highly recommend that you maybe incorporate it into your routine. If you're just getting into fasting and you're still just trying to figure that part out, that's fine. Figure that part out, get used to it, get the fasting experience under your belt, and then maybe something you can incorporate later. But for me, lifting weights, strength training is a very important part for what I want to do, for the goals I want to achieve. I had done a DEXA scan back on November 6th for my 1-year anniversary of fasting or on my journey, and I want to get better numbers maybe 6 months down the road or a year down the road when I get a second scan done. This also goes to show, right? The fact that I'm wearing boys' pants and an extra small adult shirt, even after I gained 13 pounds of weight on vacation, shows a lot of where my composition, my body composition is today versus the 160-pound Jerome back in March of 2024. That version of Jerome back then, yes, still very proud of that version of Jerome, but that version of Jerome did not have the same muscle mass and had a lot more fat tissue than current Jerome today, which is why even at 160 pounds, I can still wear boys' pants, an extra small adult shirt, because I know that Jerome back in March that didn't have that same composition could not wear what I'm wearing today, which again shows the importance of building muscle. Yes, the scale might move up because you're putting muscle on, but that shouldn't deter you from going to the gym and strength training. So many of us get so obsessed with the number on the scale that, and I know I'm talking to you when I look at the camera because I know there are some of you who are thinking this. Why? Because I used to be that person where I wanted nothing to do with lifting weights because I didn't want the scale to go up because I was putting muscle on, because I was too worried about the number on the scale, the stupid number on the scale. Do not let the number on the scale change your perception of building muscle. Building muscle has so many benefits. It is one of the reasons that good metabolic health can still happen as you get older because of muscle, because of strength training. Please do your research on that. Look at all the benefits of strength training and keeping muscle, especially at an older age. That's all I'll say when it comes to that. Although I'm sure I'll say that again in the future. Okay, so I want to go ahead and I'll just share the couple slides that I meant to share earlier. If I can get that up here. So we'll do some nerd stats. Like I said earlier, today is day 399 of my fasting journey. That's 57 weeks of doing this. I have completed 150 fasts in the last 399 days. That number shot up in the last 13 days because I've just had 13 short fasts. In those 399 days, 249 of them I did not eat. And this number looked a lot more impressive when it used to say 137 completed fasts in 399 days. But this is still very impressive. My average fast number has gone down because I ate 13 days in a row. What used to be around 62 hours is now at 57 hours and 47 minutes. My average refeed has bumped up now to 6 hours and 3 minutes. That number is probably going to, that number will probably bounce back up because I'm about to start doing longer fasts again. But that's just my overall outlook. I put those numbers there because I want people to understand that 399 days, I haven't been fasting. Well, for one, I haven't been fasting for 399 days in a row, but it also means that while I was fasting 90 plus hours for the first 138 days of my journey, the last 200 and however many have not been that long. That's why that average is no longer 90, and that average is now somewhere around the high 50s. Sometimes people think that hitting a timer while you're on vacation is pointless. My question to you is, maybe it's pointless if you're somebody that can control their eating, control the volume of food, control not snacking the entire day. But for me, a 12-hour fast is still a 12-hour fast. A 10-hour fast is still a 10-hour fast. I count that. That's still a win in my book because I'm still hitting a timer. I'm still being mindful of what I'm doing. So when I say I've completed 150 fasts in the last 399 days, yes, There are 11-hour fasts in there. There are 8-hour fasts in there. They still count, just like my refeeds count. 13-hour refeed, sure, it counts. You're still fasting. You're still feasting. If you do not count those numbers, and you're that person who says, fuck it, I'm going to start over. I'm going to start on Monday. Hey, I'm going to start on the new year. Then you have that all or nothing thinking where you're saying that a 12-hour fast is not good enough. What's the point? The point is you're probably just starting over and over and over, and you're doing yourself a disservice. And instead of practicing imperfect consistency, you're just doing the all or nothing type thinking that one day, eventually you're going to do this gigantic fast and it's going to be life-changing. And maybe it will. And congrats to you if you've been able to do that. But I also have 7-day fasts under my belt during my journey, and that isn't defining me. Do you know what I'm saying? These long fasts don't define you. What defines you is the consistency in what you're doing. Show me that you can do something consistently. Show me that you can hit a timer consistently. Show me that you can do multiple fasts consistently, regardless of them being 168 hours. Do you see what I'm saying? The all or nothing mentality has to go. And you're talking to somebody who has that mentality. Although today it's a lot more controlled than it used to be. And that's huge for me. And I do feel like other people are starting to realize that too, that it doesn't have to be like that. Don't get me wrong. Very impressive for people who fast that long. 20 days, 40 days, however many days. Very impressive. But life will eventually come for you where you're not going to be doing 20-day fasts forever, 40-day fasts forever, 7-day fasts forever. Eventually, you're going to have to control doing shorter fasts. Eventually, you're going to have to control the consumption of your food. These are all things that I am currently facing at this present time, and something that I am learning to deal with every single day. And because instead of me saying, fuck it, I'm just going to do this long fast instead of doing that, and what I'm doing currently is accepting the fact that, hey, some days are going to be shitty, some days are going to be okay, but you know what? Every day is going to be an opportunity for me to learn from myself, to do something better. Those are my W's. Those should be your W's. Every time I say W in my head, I'm like, do people know what I mean when I say W? They're wins. They're wins. Count your wins. No matter how small your wins are, they're still wins. They're still progress. Okay. Let's go back into my vacation time. Okay. So I'll point out here how different this vacation was versus my last vacation. I don't have the stats from my last vacation. I just didn't have time to put this together. But if you saw my last vlog, I talked about how this vacation was the most controlled vacation I've had since I started my journey. Like I said before, I gained 21 pounds in, I believe it was 12 or 13 days. One of my other vacations, I gained 19.6 pounds in 6 days. This vacation, even if you're looking at this right now, and let's just say we're looking at, don't even look at the 8th of December. Look at the first 12 days of my vacation. The first 12 days of my vacation, my weight pretty much stayed the same. Yes, I started off at 147.6. The next day it jumped up to 153.2. On my flight to Tokyo, it actually dropped down to 149.8. That might be because I was on a long flight and I ate what the plane had, but I didn't have a second meal. I didn't ask for a bunch of extra snacks. I didn't drink a bunch. Yes, I drank beer, but I didn't drink a ton. And then you'll see the weight pretty much stay the same. 151, 151.4, 152.6, 153. And yes, you can see the number slowly jumping up, but it isn't like it was doing before. This was less than a 10-pound gain in 12 days. The only time it shot up was yesterday when I had my regular standard refeed meal. And that was because that all or nothing mentality still sticks with me. I would be lying if I said that yesterday when I was refeeding, I was like, okay, Jerome, you're about to do a 65-hour fast. You better eat the shit out of some food, which is what I did. I ate my standard Italian sausages, although I didn't have Brussels sprouts, but I had zucchini and carrots and tomatoes and eggs and rice, and I had a protein bar, and I ate lunch beforehand. I had tacos and tortilla chips and a salad. So I ate quite a bit. Yesterday I had pumpkin pie and I had a little cheesecake. So I got my fair share of food. That is the Jerome that I think all of you are used to seeing. But that version of Jerome too is a little different because that version of Jerome didn't just eat a ton of vegetables and make those choices. These are choices that are so different from what old Jerome used to do. So yes, I'm 12 pounds up, 12.6 pounds up, almost 13 pounds up. But I also know that it's not 12.6 pounds of fat on me. I know that it's going to be a majority of waste and water weight and, well, most likely those two things. Yes, that I definitely have gained weight. There's probably extra fat on me, but I know that it's not 13 pounds worth. Let's talk about the differences, the changes on this past vacation versus my other ones. I remember in April when I did my first vacation, I literally was just eating every single day, whatever I wanted. I think I was eating a tin of cashews every single day. I was eating pie. I was going out to eat. This vacation, okay, I didn't have cashews in Japan, but one, I was doing a lot of walking. In Japan, I was walking 15, 20, 25,000 steps a day. There was one day where we walked 30,000 steps a day. You know what? I'll say this too. Me walking an hour a day, 6 times a week for over a year, for 390 some days before I went to Japan, that is not something, if I had not done that, I don't know how I would have been able to walk around in Japan the way I did. For me to walk around Japan and for everyone's feet to hurt and everyone to be sore and me to not feel any of those things. Yes, there was maybe slight soreness the day I walked 30,000 steps, but the next day I was fine. There was never any soreness on me. There might have been a little foot pain from the 30,000 steps because of the shoes, but otherwise, my cardio health is so good. That is a huge win because old Jerome, if I had gone to Japan in 2020, well, that was different because then I was also fasting. So I would have probably been in pretty good shape then too. But if that version of Jerome, obese Jerome, morbidly obese, was going at 235 pounds, there's no way I would have been able to do all those steps. There were times when I was, especially when I got off the plane and I was navigating through public transit, I was carrying around 35 pounds. I was carrying a 35-pound bag of luggage, and I probably had, I don't know, 15 to 20 pounds on my backpack with my my mirrorless camera. I had my professional camera. That's a lot of weight on me. And there were some places where I had to carry that 30 pounds of luggage up with me, a flight of steps or 2 flights of steps multiple times. I had to do the same thing transferring the luggage from hotel to hotel. That was a thing too. These are things I would have never been able to do in the past. I'm very thankful that I found myself in shape on vacation. Those steps, all that extra exercise probably helped keep the weight down, but it was probably also the food that was there in Japan. I wasn't eating pie. I wasn't eating, pizza and burgers and pasta and things that were super fatty. Yes, I had a lot of fish. I had a good amount of rice and noodles. I did eat a lot of baked goods at the konbinis, which are like the 7-Elevens there in Japan, or the Family Mart, or the Lawson's. I did have a lot of baked goods that way, but you probably saw even in my vlogs, I ate a lot of protein bars. Actually, the protein bars in Japan taste better than the ones here. I wish I could buy those instead. But instead of picking up a candy bar, I had a protein bar. I was still making different choices than I would have made back in April on my first vacation. Again, a big change for me. When I was on the plane, I refused the second meal going from Chicago to Tokyo. That's unlike me. And almost the entire time on vacation, I was doing a 16-8, give or take, right? More or less, I was skipping breakfast. I was just drinking a black coffee, and then I was just eating later in the day. Again, something different, and something that wasn't that bad either. There's the other part of me that is so used to just when I'm on vacation, it's like, okay, Jerome, you're just going to eat breakfast, eat brunch, eat lunch, eat dinner, eat a fourth meal, eat at midnight. And that wasn't there. It was mostly skip breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, have a snack, or maybe have a snack in between. And that was it. Now, I was with friends, and even though my friends know I eat a lot, I wasn't going to be eating all out every single time. And in some instances, my friends stopped me too. Like when we went to a Rotary sushi place, I had a bunch of sushi. I was going to get more. And my friends were like, they looked at me and they're like, oh, we're done. And so then they would have to wait for me. And in Japan, when you usually eat at places, it's not a place to sit and eat or sit and talk for an hour. Usually when you eat at places in Japan, you get there, you sit down, you eat, and then you go. And so then my friends would have had to wait for me during those times. And I was like, well, I don't want that. So I'd be like, okay, I'm done too. And in a way that was really helpful, really helpful. So those were some of the big changes. I mean, even on the flight home, you also saw that in the first video on my vlog. I flew business class. So I had access to the business lounges or the airport lounges. And in those lounges, it's literally buffet, free food everywhere. I didn't even eat at the first buffet at the first airport lounge I went to. Instead, I waited to eat on the plane. On the way back from Tokyo to Chicago, I did eat at the lounge there, but I was already fasted. I didn't eat until I got there. And I ate at the lounge, and I made really good choices. I didn't eat the desserts there. I had fruit instead. And then when I got on the plane, I didn't even eat the meals. This is a very big mindset change for me. This is something different that I am not used to doing. I don't know if this is going to stick forever, but for now, I'm taking it as a huge win. These are small changes or big changes that I've been doing that have been different from who I've been in the past. And why is this happening? I feel like the reason that this is happening this time versus the last time is because I keep showing up. I know that sounds very repetitive, but this version of Jerome right now, the things that I'm doing, the choices that I'm making, the actions that I'm performing, the only reason that this is happening is because I have been practicing this over and over and over. My mind, the way my brain has been thinking, is probably starting to tell itself, hey, you don't have to eat like this every single time you refeed. It doesn't have to be this way. You're going to be okay. You're going to get to eat again tomorrow. But look at how long it's taken me to get to this point. When I started my fasting journey back in 2019, you all saw how my refeeds were. They were fast food place to fast food place to fast food place. The comments went insane about the way I ate. The comments still kind of go insane from time to time with the way I eat. And I know that those moments are still going to happen, Because believe me, the next 65-hour fast I complete, and when I refeed, I'm sure I am going to eat a good amount of food. But that's okay. My choices have changed. Maybe the calories will change. Maybe I'll start being able to step it back a little bit and maybe do shorter fasts. I don't know. But for now, I take all of these things as a win. I'll share with you my fasts here. My numbers got really thrown off too, because I think the time change really messed with me. But for the most part, my fast laid in somewhere between 14 to 16 hours with a refeed time of somewhere between 6 to 10 hours, just depending what we were doing for the day. But I do want to talk about what my next plans are moving forward. So, like I said earlier, I am currently 12.6 pounds up from where I was when I left for vacation. I went from 147.6 to this morning I weighed in at 160.2. I also know that a lot of the weight right now will probably drop in the next day or two through my fasting, like it normally does. But what I want to do at this point is, even when I was weighing in at 147.6, I want to get leaner. I know I still have extra fat on me because of my DEXA scan, and I know I have extra muscle that I can put on. So this is my plan for the rest of the December. This is my plan for the rest of December, because I just spent the last 2 weeks eating back-to-back days. Moving forward, and this started yesterday when I started my timer, or at 12 midnight. I think I started my fast at around like 12:10 a.m. I'm about to do 8 65-hour fasts in a row. And this started at midnight. So that's why I'm 20 hours in. Let me just double check. Yes. That's why I'm currently 20 hours and 27 minutes fasted. So I'm about to do 8 65-hour fasts in a row. If you're watching this right now and you want to hop in with me and you want to do these 65-hour fasts, this is your chance. You can do it with me if you'd like to. But if you do decide to do this and you don't get that far, do not give up. Practice imperfect consistency and just keep moving. Keep it moving. There is a 99.9% certainty that I will do all 8 of these 65-hour fasts, given my track record. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do this, but there's also going to be a part that I might not. And no matter what happens, I will make sure to be accountable and share that. One of the reasons, though, that I want to be able to do 8 in a row is because it falls into perfect days here. So I'm breaking on the 10th, the 13th, the 16th, the 19th, the 22nd on Christmas. So on 12/25, I'll be breaking the 28th, and then I will be breaking again on the 31st, which is New Year's Eve. Which means for the 1st of January, I will be fasting, getting right back into a fast. Now, I don't know what 2025 looks like yet, but this is my current goal for the next 3 weeks. My refeeds will be no longer than 6 hours, which I still feel like is a very long time for me to refeed. And here are the extra rules that I have given myself. You remember, this is a different Jerome. Old Jerome would have no rules when it came to eating. I would just eat whatever I wanted during a certain time frame. Now there's a new rule, new rules in here. So my goal is to still prioritize protein and dietary fiber. Okay. For every 1,000 calories I eat, I will have to eat at least 70 grams of protein. So if I eat 2,000 calories, I have to eat at least 140 grams of protein. If I eat 4,000 calories, I will have to eat at least 280 grams of protein. How did I come up with that number? Because I know from trial and error, when I eat 4,000 calories, I can eat about 280 grams of protein and feel good with my meal. At the same time, dietary fiber is very important for me. There's already a rule that says for every 1,000 calories you eat, you should be eating around 14 grams of dietary fiber. This is no different. For every 1,000 calories I eat, my goal is to eat 15 grams of dietary fiber. So if I eat 4,000 calories, I need to eat at least 60 grams of dietary fiber. If you've watched my past refeeds, you've seen me eat 75 grams of dietary fiber, 88 grams of dietary fiber. I am not new to dietary fiber, but I will say this, which might be a little TMI. Yesterday, when I went to get tacos, it also came with rice and beans, black beans and pinto beans, and I ate a good amount of beans. And last night was rough. Last night was really rough. And I was like, but why? It's only been 2 weeks since I've had this much dietary fiber. It was rough. So if you are somebody who's doing this, and if you're going to try to apply the dietary fiber rule and you have not eaten 20 grams of dietary fiber on a regular basis, I would take caution and ramp up to it slowly. Okay. I'm warning you now because I don't want you to follow what I'm doing. If you're somebody that only eats 10 grams of dietary fiber every day and then decides to eat 80 grams the next day, you better be close to a bathroom. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, let me get back into this. So my goal also for the rest of December, which is not new, this is something I've already done, is to walk 6 times a week for an hour, strength train 4 times a week, and then sleep 7 hours every night on average. These are the rules I'm giving myself for the rest of December. If you're in with me, I would love for you to join me. I will also say this. If you don't have to do 65-hour fasts. You don't have to eat X amount of grams of protein. You don't have to walk as much as I do. You don't have to strength train the way I do. If you want to just do something with me from now until the end of December, by all means do so. Share it with me in the comments because I will read it later. If you want to do something like that, update me in the comments. Update me in the chat during these live streams. Maybe make this a commitment to yourself that you are not just going to throw away the rest of the holidays. And let's talk about that for a second, because I know there are probably some of you that are thinking Christmas is so close. What's the point? The point is Christmas is one day. Christmas Eve is one day. New Year's Eve is one day in that month. Those are 3 days. Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve. If those are days you celebrate, those are days you do things. So those are 3 days out of the rest of this month. There's 21 days left. 20, 22, 21, something like that. You don't have to throw all 21, 22 days away. Those are only 3 days. That gives you 18 other days to take care of yourself. This is what I mean by imperfect consistency. Even if it's not 18, maybe it's 15, but at least it's not 20 days, 21 days of you eating like shit and doing nothing. This is 15 days of taking care of yourself, 18 days of taking care of yourself, 10 days of taking care of yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So don't let it go to waste. Don't let this year go to waste. Don't be like, I'm going to wait until 2025 because that's ridiculous. If you are maybe the only person on earth who's in this chat right now who has never said, I'm going to start on the first of the year, I'm going to start after the holidays. If you have never done that before, you get a free pass. But if you've been in here and you've said, I'm going to start on Monday, how many of you are in here right now who are telling yourselves, I'm going to start tomorrow? And maybe you won't even admit it. Maybe you're just watching and you're just like, well, that's me, but I'm not going to tell Jerome, which is fine. I'm just trying to hold you accountable. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. That's all I got. At this point, I will field any questions. There was probably more I could have talked about during my vacation, but you have the vlogs for that. If you want to ask me about my vacation, you can. I mean, I can only, I do have a very, I do keep my life pretty personal, but I'm happy to answer questions if I feel that they're appropriate to answer. So please ask them now. I will answer what I can. In the meantime, while you're asking your questions, if there are any, I want to remind you all that yes, I do offer coaching. You can go to this link that's up here on the screen. If not, you can click the link in the description. If you are looking for one-on-one coaching when it comes to fasting, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to accountability, which is I would say most of my clients, most of the people I talk to come for accountability. Most of the time, for a lot of us, we already know what we have to do. You know that fasting is good for you. You know that eating healthy is good for you. You know that exercise is good for you. You know that strength training is good for you. You know that quality sleep is good for you. But sometimes you have no one holding you accountable for that. So if you feel like you need that extra layer of accountability, if you think that a conversation can be helpful, there are many people that I talk to, and I wish that they could attest to that. But sometimes having the conversation of like seeing if it's worthwhile for you can be beneficial. It's the reason I do this, because I think that having a conversation, being transparent, being accountable is the reason for my success. My goal is to help you figure out your shit. My goal is to help you get to that weight you want to get to. Reverse your type 2 diabetes. Fix your high blood pressure. Let me help you if I can. If you think having that type of accountability can be fruitful for you, please feel free to reach out. At the same time, if you aren't looking for something that's if you're not looking for something that's just one-on-one in that way, there is also a link in the description to be part of the Finally Fasting fam every Wednesday. Also, for anyone who's in here, who's part of that fam, who's part of the autophagy group, we will be having a live stream this Wednesday. You can join that as well. There's a link there. We do a live stream, a community live stream on Wednesdays for members where we hold each other accountable. We all share a spreadsheet where we put our goals, kind of like the goals I showed you, is the same goals that people will hold themselves accountable to on our Wednesday live streams. It is a more intimate live stream. We all talk together. We all prop each other up. We give each other respect, because that is what I expect from all of us who are in here. So if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to check that out as well. There's a link in the description for that. Priceman 5 with a $10 donation. Priceman 5, it's so nice to see you as always. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you as always. Happy belated birthday, Jerome. I appreciate that, Priceman. Thank you. And welcome back. Question. You always say you walk for an hour on most days. I do. Do you actually have a step goal? I don't. I usually do 12,000 a day, though I know 10,000 should be enough. Here's the thing, Priceman, is even though I don't have a specific step goal, I am starting to tell myself I should be walking somewhere between 8 to 12,000 steps a day. That's what I give myself. Now, I have my health app on my iPhone, but the thing about my health app is, why is this? Sorry, something was stuck on the magnetic part. The thing about my iPhone is that it's not a very accurate way to count my steps, because like, especially now here in Chicago during the winter when it snows, I'm not going to be walking. Well, I will be walking outside when it snows, but not all the time. Sometimes I step on the treadmill and I'm not carrying my phone with me, so it's not accurately counting my steps. But let me just show you where I'm at here. So currently, for the last year, this is 1 year, right? For the last year, I have been performing 11,800 steps, but I know that number is even higher than that because I don't carry my phone with me all day when I'm stepping or anything like that. The last month is 12,600, and that's probably because of my time in Japan. And then even in just the last week, 13,006 is kind of where I'm at. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Oh, actually, you know what? This is actually a really good time to share this. I don't know if any of you have used the product called Whoop. Whoop is like a band you put around your wrist. And I did order one of those because Whoop also helps you track your sleep. It doesn't have a screen on it, so I think the battery lasts a lot longer. I think it'll probably be a lot more comfortable. So Whoop will actually give me a better representation of my step count, my sleep, and probably some other things that I'm not currently thinking about, but I will try to incorporate that with my nerd stats in the future. So Priceman 5, thank you for the $10 donation. Hopefully that was a little helpful for you when it comes to step count. For me, even though I don't have a particular step count, I'm telling myself anywhere between 8 to 12,000 a day is good. If it's more than that, I'll take it. But I'm not harping too much about it because I don't want to get obsessed with that number, because that's what happens when people start stepping on the scale or trying to fast for a certain amount of time. I'm trying not to like be too obsessive about that. I appreciate the question though, Price Man. And again, thank you so much for the support. Okay, let me scroll back up here. B says, on this fast, does coffee with milk count? For me, it counts. If anything has calories in it, it counts. It breaks my fast. For you, maybe it doesn't. For you, if the milk is low enough in calories where, yes, it still technically will break your fast, but if you're putting yourself at such a huge caloric deficit and you're able to prolong a fast, why not try it out? Why not let it be something that you can do? Other people might call it cheating. Other people might call it dirty, but you know what? Fuck them, because this is your journey and no one else's. So if that's helpful for you, by all means, try it. But also remember, this is a modified fast. You're still putting calories in you. You're still probably spiking your insulin to a maybe specific degree, maybe not as much as eating a bowl of cereal or a bowl of oatmeal. But I think you and I both know that you will get the most effective results if you were to do something that was 0 calories. So hopefully that's helpful, B. Thank you for the question. Okay, let me scroll down here. I don't even know where I was at, but let me just check if there's any other questions. Athena. Hi, Athena. Is there a new calendar? I only see up to December 4th. Did I not update our calendar? Give me a second. Sorry, for those who are not Autophagy members, you won't know what I'm talking about. We share accountability spreadsheet where we put our goals on here. Oh, there isn't. I'm so sorry. You know what? I will go ahead and put, yeah, I need to put that up. And actually, I'll do that right after this call. So hopefully you've all kept your stats. I will put this up here. Who changed the formatting on my calendar? I mean, it works, but this is not the format. The colors look nice though. So whoever did that. Okay. Anyway, Athena, I will get that updated. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. Okay. That might be it. I don't see any other questions here, which is great because now I can get back to other work I need to do. Okay. So a couple things before we kind of close things out here. Like I tell people every single time, you know that the number on the scale, that weight that you see, does not define you. It should never define you. What I mean by that is don't let the number on the scale tell you that you're worth more or less. The number on the scale does not hold a value in that regard. You are still you, no matter what you weigh. Remember to respect yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself for who you are today, who you are in the future, who you were 6 months ago, a year ago. That number on the scale doesn't mean anything. Use it as a data point. Use it as a guide. Yes, we all obsess over the scale in some form or fashion, but do not let it control you in that regard. Easier said than done, right? But just something to remind yourself as you continue on your journey. I was going to say my last part here, but Alina is asking a question. Hi, Alina. Oops. Alina asks, Strum, why did you choose 8 of the rolling fasts? Why is 8 the magic number? 8 isn't the magic number. The only reason it's 8 is because it falls on every day for the month of December, which might be the OCD in me. So if you look at that, my next break, so after I finish this 65-hour fast that I'm on, I break on the 10th of December, the 13th of December, 16th, 19th, 22nd, 25th, which is Christmas, 28th, and then the 31st, the last day of the year. So that's 8 65-hour fasts. I feel like those 8 65-hour fasts should really lean me out by then too. We'll see how quickly or how slowly, but yeah, there's no other reason for it. I was just like, oh, this fills the calendar completely for the month of December. So that's the only reason why. Okay. Before I go, one last thing. I want you to remember that you're not alone on this journey. I think there are a lot of us who are fasting, who maybe beat ourselves up mentally and say, why me? Why do I have to do this? Why is it me? The fact is, there's so many of us doing this. The fact is, a lot of other people that you might not even know or realize, who might be super fit or whatever, they're going through their own shit too. But no, you're not alone on this journey. Know that this person right here has been doing this for 399 days, for 57 weeks, for over a year, for probably 13 months. I haven't done the math, but my guess is 13 months at this point. I've been doing this for a long time. I have been fasting consecutively for 399 days. Yes, I also take vacation days. Yes, I also eat back-to-back days. Yes, I also have very long refeeds. Yes, there are days where I have urges to do nothing or eat completely shitty. But that doesn't mean that I'm throwing away the day. That doesn't mean that I'm not part of this community. That doesn't mean that we're not doing this together, because through all the ups and downs, my plan here is to get this community strong, to know that we are all in it together. You are not fasting alone. You know, one thing that's really important too is the length of your fast also doesn't make you better. Just because you fast 168 hours and someone else hasn't doesn't make you any better. It doesn't. Don't let these things get in your head. Just because someone else is doing a 72-hour fast, or me doing a 90 or doing a 65, doesn't make me better than you. That's not how it works. Your journey is your journey. My journey is my journey. Just know you're not alone when it comes to this. Okay. We're doing this together. I'm 20 hours and 48 minutes fasted. I am fasting until the 65-hour mark. So if you're thinking to yourself, why me? Hey, I didn't eat at all today. And guess what? I'm not eating all day tomorrow either. I'm breaking on Tuesday. So if for a second you're beating yourself up or you're feeling sorry for yourself, hey, I'm fasting too. Okay. I'm going to show you that you can eat 13 days in a row and push a 65-hour fast. Is it because there's something special about me? Nope. It's because I'm accountable. It's because I'm transparent. It's because I know I have to show all of you that this can be done. Okay. You can do it too. You can. You can. Remember that. Okay. That's it. There's a question. Let me try to answer. Net Nanny says, advice or your input on a dry fast. I only dry fast for around 12 to 16 hours, so I probably don't have enough input when it comes to that. I don't dry fast for a long amount of time. There's actually someone in our autophagy group who fasts for long periods of time, dry fasts for long periods of time, who has a wealth of knowledge. I'm not saying you have to join the Finally Fasting fam, but I can't speak on their knowledge because it's not mine. So I'm just saying someone's very helpful on there when it comes to dry fasts. Yeah. Monica says no need to dry fast. If you're new to it, it can be dangerous. Jerome, what do you think? The thing is, when it comes to dry fasting, there's some other extra knowledge I think that's really important when it comes to that. You're asking the wrong person. I can't give you the advice on dry fasting. And even if I did, I can only share my experience with you and not give you advice solely because it is a different type of fasting. So here's the thing though, is have you water fasted? Are you not getting results water fasting? I'm not saying that you should just do water fast and not do dry fast. I'm just saying, I don't know. What's the hurry? That's probably the wrong thing to say too, because there's so many benefits on doing both. I'm just just don't do dry fast in that regard. I do 12 to 16 hours. Maybe I'd like to do something extended in the future, but my head's not there right now. I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing because it works well for me. So, okay. Mark asks, when's the next trip? My next trip, I am planning to leave the country again, but that's later down. That's in 2025. So I don't know just yet. I mean, I do know, but I'm still working, I think, on all the logistics for that. So that's a good question though, Mark. We'll talk later. All right. Okay. That's it for me. Appreciate everyone today. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the super chats today. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the well wishes on my birthday. I really appreciate that. I think you all saw this on not my very last vlog, but the vlog before that. You're all like family to me. I know that probably sounds hard to believe, but you are very important to me. I don't have a lot of people in my life when it comes to friends and loved ones. I've lost a lot of people in my life because of my binge eating and my depression and the things that happened when I got into that mode, when I just cut everyone off. And that wasn't done intentionally. That was more so because of my own disorder and my depression. So to know that there are people that I coach that have become good friends, that there are people that I work with that are just, right, we're all just trying to get our shit together and figure things out. And I just cannot, I just have so much gratitude for all of you. Please know that I appreciate every single one of you, even if it doesn't seem like it. There's a reason I do this. There's a reason I take extra time when I coach people. It's important to me that I help you and that we do this together and that you're not alone. So with that being said, that's it for tonight. Thank you again so much. I appreciate you all. We'll have another live stream next Sunday, just like I have for the last year plus, and I'll have more videos in between then. So until then, bye everyone.